Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to objectively unpack a frankly wild, highly ambitious startup pitch deck. We're looking at a company claiming it can take dormant, struggling commercial real estate and completely transform it into a digital infrastructure worth billions. Whether you're an investor, a real estate pro, or just someone fascinated by bold business models, you're definitely going to want to see how this company builds its case.
We're anchoring this explainer right at the top with a truly staggering figure, $8 billion. That is the 5-year valuation goal projected by a European startup called OTTIMEDIA. It's an astronomical number, positioning them as a self-described true unicorn startup. But honestly, how exactly does a brand new company plan to hit an $8 billion valuation in just 5 short years?
Well, the plan is to reach that massive valuation by blanketing the glass facades of global office towers in massive, transparent LED video walls. They are pitching a complete global facade monetization platform. Basically, they want to turn the outside of skyscrapers in major cities all over the world into a network of giant, hyper-visible digital screens. To see if this actually holds water, we're going to systematically deconstruct the pitch into 5 parts. 1. The $8 billion vision. 2. The transparent LED technology. 3. Disrupting traditional billboard economics. 4. The fast ROI financial loop. And finally, 5. Mitigating risk and scaling up.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the $8 billion vision, valuation and ambition.
Get this, the company's growth curve projects a launch valuation somewhere between $2 and $4 billion. Let me repeat that. They expect to literally launch at up to $4 billion and then hyperscale to an $8 billion unicorn status within their very first 5 years of operation. Oh, and they also mentioned seeking some institutional leverage, specifically aiming for a $30 million non-refundable EU Commission loan right upon their first patent application to really fuel that hyperscale. Okay, moving right along to Section 2, the transparent LED technology, hardware as a solution. So, what physical hardware supposedly justifies this kind of multi-billion-dollar valuation? Well, the pitch rightfully identifies declining commercial real estate occupancy as a massive global crisis. Property values are dropping, and the shift to remote work is leaving office buildings basically empty. To counter this, they propose an ultra-thin, smart LED hardware solution to transform those dormant facades into highly visible, high-yield digital assets. They're essentially offering building owners a massive new income stream to offset their real estate losses. But, you can't just slap a solid TV screen over an office window, right? The real secret sauce to this hardware is that it allows 70% of natural light to pass right through the building's windows into the interior offices. It's an ultra-thin, transparent network of LEDs that somehow remains crystal clear even in direct, bright daylight. And what I find really fascinating here is that these displays are equipped with live cameras. They can actually live stream their own ad spots to the internet, literally marketing themselves to future advertisers across the globe. Let's move to Section 3, Disrupting Traditional Billboard Economics, the 120x claim. The sheer scale of the disruption they're claiming here is pretty mind-blowing. They state their advertising rates are up to 120 times lower than their prime competitors. They make a direct comparison. Think about Google paying $2 million for a single month on a giant Times Square billboard. OTTIMEDIA wants to disrupt that by charging just $200,000 to $500,000 for an entire year. By radically undercutting those traditional rates, they're aiming to attract a huge volume of clients. Instead of one mega brand totally dominating a screen, they want to democratize global billboard access. The goal is to bring in 60 to 120 mid to large-sized advertisers to share a single building's facade. This volume-based approach is exactly how they plan to achieve 100% facade occupancy right out of the gate. Now for Section 4, the fast ROI financial loop, cash flow mechanics. The entire economic engine of this model hinges on what they call capital velocity. It's a closed-loop system where advertisers don't pay month to month. Instead, they're required to pay for their full year of advertising upfront within just 7 days of booking their slot. The company lays out 3 critical steps to pull this off. Step 1 is the rapid booking of those 60 to 120 highly discounted advertisers. Step 2 is locking in that absolute commitment to the entire year upfront. And Step 3 is immediate collection within 7 days. They claim this rapid cash collection instantly funds the actual hardware manufacturing and deployment, effectively guaranteeing profitability before the screens are even fully up and running. Because of this incredibly aggressive upfront collection model, the math just scales super quickly.
The pitch projects generating a staggering $6 million to $30 million in total immediate revenue per single building facade within just the first 2 to 4 months of operation.
When you scale this financial loop across a global map, the numbers totally explode. Installing 10 to 30 global facades per year in major metropolises like Mumbai or Delhi is exactly how they arrive at their massive first-year forecasts. They're projecting a minimum base of $180 million, scaling all the way up to a maximum capacity of $900 million in first-year global revenue.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Mitigating Risk and Scaling Up the Investment Ask. With projections this huge, what is the immediate call to action? Well, they're currently offering a discounted minimum 1% equity stake for $350,000. That's supposedly discounted down from $420,000. And importantly, they point out this is a highly urgent special offer strictly valid until the end of this month, June 2026.
Now, to assure potential investors that operations carry, quote, practically no perceptible risk, they've instituted a strict 4-step security sequence. It kicks off with a legal framework executed in Vienna, followed by transferring initial funds to a jointly monitored bank account. Then, crucially, Step 3 involves a physical joint inspection of the actual LED video wall production facility in Vienna to guarantee the hardware is real. Only then, in Step 4, are the final funds actually released.
Once they've secured that startup capital, they have a very specific, immediate strategy. They detail a plan to use those funds to execute a total buyout of their hardware manufacturer. Because they claim they can acquire this manufacturer, which apparently holds 3 crucial patents for about half of its actual value, they're presenting this to investors as an immediate win-win situation that instantly secures proprietary tech for the holding company.
Ultimately, this pitch deck presents a highly ambitious, deeply structured vision. This whole opportunity relies entirely on the flawless execution of their 7-day upfront cash collection loop, rapid global deployment, and that 120x disruption of traditional advertising rates to guarantee 100% facade occupancy. If they can actually execute the operations, well, the math on these slides suggests some massive exponential growth.
We've unpacked the tech, the upfront cash loop, and the wild billion-dollar projections. So, after reviewing this entire deck, I have to leave you with one final question to ponder. Will transparent LED facades genuinely revolutionize global commercial real estate and advertising, or is this simply a very bright, very ambitious idea? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it helped you see the mechanics behind the pitch. Keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.